BBC World Service, it's 8 hours GMT. Welcome to Weekend with Julian Warwicker. Coming up on the eve of the UN Climate Summit in Egypt, the US envoy John Kerry pleads for assistance from rich countries to reduce their dependence on fossil fuels.
Obviously, it's the folks who use the fossil fuel the most who are most responsible, I think, to help be part of that solution.
Also, we hear from a resident of the occupied Ukrainian city of Kherson, which Ukrainian forces are trying to retake. And with me throughout, Leslie Vinjamuri, director of the US and the Americas program at the Chatham House International Affairs think tank, and Maher Mezahi, a Canadian-Algerian journalist who's usually based in Algiers and who specializes in covering football. That's all here on Weekend, after the latest world news.
Hello, I'm Moira Alderson with the BBC News. A day before the UN Climate Summit opens in Egypt, the US envoy John Kerry has appealed for help for developing countries to reduce their dependence on fossil fuels. In a BBC interview, he said richer nations needed to step up and enable others to become more resilient. Simon Jones reports.
The summit will get underway with a bleak warning from the UN. Since COP26 in Glasgow last year, pledges by governments to cut carbon have been woefully inadequate. John Kerry, though, insists there has been significant progress, but admits it hasn't been consequential enough, with the war in Ukraine and the cost of living crisis creating hurdles. Some environmental groups are now calling for the creation of a fund to compensate countries that have experienced economic and physical loss from climate change. Mr. Kerry says nations with greater means need to step up to enable others to adapt and become more resilient.
The billionaire Elon Musk has defended his decision to sack about warning. He tweeted that he'd had no choice when